Hey guys, it's not Chef Ryan back with another video. Today I'm going to show you how to make a chicken cordon bleu. I do mine a little bit non-traditional, but I think you'll like the way it comes out. Let's get into the kitchen. What you're going to need to make chicken cordon bleu is a little prosciutto ham. I like to use prosciutto ham because it's got a little bit more marble fat in it, but you can use just about any kind of ham. Also some panko breadcrumbs, a little bit of flour, some Swiss cheese. The lighter in color the Swiss cheese, the better. We want something that's really dense and hard. Egg, a little bit of sweet basil, which I got from my garden, some onion powder, a little bit of Spanish paprika, a small to medium-sized chicken breast, salt, preferably sea salt or kosher salt. And these two items are optional. I've got some whole leaf spinach here, as well as a little bit of cream, which I'm going to make a sauce out of. Okay, so the tools you're going to need to make the chicken cordon bleu is a small cooking pan, a baking sheet, aluminum foil, a couple of bowls that you're going to need to put your egg and your flour base for the breading for the chicken cordon bleu, meat tenderizer, sharp knife that you'll need to use to cut the chicken, cutting board, spatula, tongs, wax paper, blender, which is optional. Also, this is an olive oil cooking spray. You don't have to necessarily have one of these, but I think it's a little bit easier. Okay, so we're going to pat dry the boneless, skinless chicken breast. I'll place that here on the cutting board, and we're going to cut this right down the middle and just butterfly the chicken. It's really important to not go too far, and you can kind of pull back on the top part of the chicken to make the cut, because you don't want to split that through all the way. Now we want this to be one nice flat even piece of chicken, just like that. What you do with your meat tenderizer is you're just going to lightly pat it to kind of flatten it out some on the edges. We need this piece of chicken to be pretty flat and able to put some ingredients in and roll it up. So I'm just going to do that here. Also, you want to use this end of the tenderizer. You don't want to use this end or you'll beat holes through the chicken, and that's no good. That'll make your ingredients come out. Okay, so that's just about ready. That's about the thickness that you want it right there. So you're going to want to start with your olive oil here and just lightly spray a little bit, an even layer over the boneless, skinless chicken breast. Then you'll pinch a little bit of salt in there. 1.5 pinches is good. And this is my basil. I got some of that from my garden. I chopped that up, so I'm gonna put the basil in there. Just make a fine coat of the basil. Then I'll take the washed whole leaf spinach, and I'll just put a piece here. This is completely optional. I just do this because I think it tastes good and it's a nice little touch. One tip you want to remember is when you're putting your ingredients on, always push up to the top and leave a little bit at the bottom, because when you start to roll this, all of this will move down. So next, I'm going to add the serrano ham, or prosciutto, whichever you prefer. Again, I like to use this because it has just a little bit of good marble fat in it. which adds a little bit of extra flavor. Then we'll add our very thin sliced Swiss cheese. Should be enough. And what we're going to do is we'll take this from the top and you'll just start to roll it like this. Okay, now, so you've got your chicken cordon bleu here. Now this is what I like to do. I'll take the roll and I'll put it into a piece of wax paper like this, and I'm going to roll it up like it's a burrito and just twist the ends off. Okay? Now it's got everything packed in there nice and tight. What we're going to do is we're going to stick this in the freezer. Now we're not going to stick this into the freezer to freeze completely. What we're going to do is we're just going to get it a little bit frozen along the outside. That's going to help it stay nice and tight. That way you don't have to stick a bunch of toothpicks in it when you're cooking it. And that'll ruin everything. But if you just do this, put it in the freezer for a little while, then we're going to add the egg. Then we're going to add the panko breadcrumbs and some of the other ingredients to bread it. Then we're going to fry it. I've chopped up some spinach here, and while we're waiting for our chicken cordon bleu to get cold, I'm going to add some of this to the blender, and I'm going to put a little bit of cream in it. What I'm going to do is make sauce, and we'll put just a little bit of onion powder in here, just a few sprinkles. And about 3 pretty healthy pinches of salt. And then we're just going to blend this in the blender. Okay, so once you've let this blend pretty thoroughly, you're going to have kind of a cream spinach sauce there. And we're going to use a little bit of that to add just kind of as a garnish with the chicken cordon bleu. Also, while we're waiting for our chicken cordon bleu to kind of get ready in the freezer, I've mixed the egg up here, as you can see, just beat it with a fork. And I'm going to add the panko breadcrumbs. I like this Roland brand of panko breadcrumbs because they're very flaky. Some of them are a little bit too chunky. But that nice flaky breadcrumb, which is why I used the panko breadcrumbs, I think makes a really good flavor. I mix that also with a little bit of flour. I add some salt. About 3 good generous pinches is fine. A little bit of Spanish paprika. This is going to make the breading. And just a little onion powder. It just helps give it a little bit of flavor. You can mix that up if you like with a fork until you get a good consistency. Now we're going to leave these 2 things set here just for a little while, and then we're going to wait for our chicken cordon bleu to come out. Now we've got our chicken finished, the chicken cordon bleu. As you can tell, it's just pretty firm to the touch, but not completely frozen. That's going to keep it together nicely when we put it in our oil. I'm going to unwrap this here. And then this again is just our beat egg. So I'm going to cover this nicely in the egg. And then once I've got that coated in the egg, I'll put this in the breading. completely covered. You've got everything completely covered. Not a bad idea to take a little bit and hold it in to pack it in like this. That'll bring out a little bit of the moisture in it, and that will allow that flour to just nicely, lightly bread the outside. This is a messy recipe, so do it when your mom's over so she can help you clean. Okay, so now we've got this completely breaded, as you can see. And I'm going to need to grab my tongs here real quickly. And we're going to put this in the hot oil. The oil that I'm using is a mixture of a bunch of different oils that I've put together. Whenever I'm finished, I always let the flavor seep in. I stick it into this. A lot of chefs will tell you that using a good olive oil is good. It is, but I'm not a chef, and this stuff tastes awesome. So I just, as I use oil, I always save it, and then the next day, after it's cooled down, I pour it into here, so it's got a good conglomerate of flavors. As you can see, I'm just kind of slowly turning this. You don't want to overcook it, you just want to make sure that the outside is nice and brown. If you overcook it, the cheese will start to melt on the inside and start to come out in your oil. You don't want that, so just kind of turn it here as you are frying it on high. And that's about all that we need to do for the frying part. I'm going to pull this out and I'm going to put it on my baking sheet with the aluminum. And we're going to stick this in the oven, which is already preheated to 350. And we're going to let that cook. Really only for about 10 to 12 minutes, not very long. It cooks pretty quickly, actually. Okay, so while your chicken cordon bleu is cooking, we can put some of the cream sauce, the spinach cream sauce that we made. In a cup. And we can just stick this in the microwave. Cover it with a little wax paper, or have your mom over so she can help you clean. We'll heat that up for about a minute. This should be ready here in just a second. I think our chicken cordon bleu is just about ready. As you can see on the bottom there, it's bubbling. The cheese is just starting to come out. About 13 minutes or so. And we're going to let it cool down here just for a little while. And then we're going to dish it up and we're going to eat it. Okay, so now for the final touch, we're going to put a little of the spinach cream sauce here that we made on the plate. Right here. Maybe you guys weren't watching. Steamed broccoli. And a little couscous to go with. Okay, so now we're going to give it a cut down the middle just to see how it came out. And we'll let you guys take a look on the inside here. So as you can see, it just came out perfectly. Chicken's nicely cooked. All of the juices have settled perfectly. And now it's ready to eat. To be honest with you, I'm incredibly hungry because this entire time I've been making this video, I've been thinking about eating it, so I'm going to do that right now. You know, cooking is an art form, and honestly it's one of the only art forms that appeal to 4 of the 5 senses: taste, texture, smell, and vision. But most importantly, it brings people together, family and friends. That's why I like to do these videos. If you like this video, you don't have to click subscribe or like or any of that kind of stuff. It's not really important to me, but do check back because I will be making some more. Until next time, this is not Chef Ryan telling you to love what you cook and cook what you love. Thanks for watching.